Website call to actions are a great way to promote things on your website, like offers you have, or as we also sometimes call them, CTAs. And in this video, I want to show you how you can easily set up and manage CTAs within HubSpot. Let's dive right in. First of all, let me show you how these CTAs actually look. So here you can see we're on a page on my website about HubSpot workflows. And then I do have the CTA here, which is promoting my favorite HubSpot automations. So people can leave their email and their name here, and then they can download this PDF with 5 of my favorite HubSpot automations. In case you want to download it yourself, I'll leave a link below so you can do that. But let me first show you how this works and how it's set up. So the setup is really simple. This works just through the standard HubSpot tracking code on your website. So let's have a look how you can set that up. When we go into HubSpot, then within settings, on the left side, you see tracking and analytics, and then tracking code. So the only thing you need to do is add this tracking code, as it says here, just before the closing body tag. If you have a web developer working for you, you can just click email to my web developer here, and you will receive all of the instructions. But I'll show you how, for example, you can do this within Webflow, which is the system that I use for my website. Obviously, if you're using HubSpot CMS, that makes it even easier because then it will be automatically integrated. So let's copy this here. Then we go to Webflow, and then within Webflow, you basically have the choice if you want to add it to every page or just a couple of pages. Now, for this tracking code to work properly, you probably want it on every single page. So then in the top left corner, we go to site settings, and then here we go to custom code. And here you can see all of the custom code that I have for my header and then the footer code, which is the one before the closing body tag, as HubSpot describes it. And then we basically just paste in the HubSpot embed code right here. We make sure to save this. So if we make any changes here, this save button will light up. You click on save, and then it says you need to publish so that it's actually active. You publish that there. And that's everything we need to do. We're all set. Now when we go back to HubSpot, our setup is ready to go. And this is a very easy one-time configuration on your website. It's used for not only the CTAs, but also it will add the tracking to your website so you get more data. It will also be used for form tracking as well. And it is also used if you want to add a chat to your website, which I also have a video about, and I will link that up here as well. Now, before we go to the next step, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel for more HubSpot excellence. And then we'll get right into those CTAs. So to get to CTAs, we go to the main menu here under marketing and then CTAs. And here you will see that in the specific account that I'm using, I have not set up any CTAs yet. So we can click on create a CTA here. And for the sake of this video, I'll just set it up myself, but you can get a guided experience here through Help Me Get Started. So I'll set it up myself. You can see that there's like some examples here from HubSpot already. So they have like a Christmas countdown. It seems a little bit early in the year right now when I'm recording this video in January, but all right. But there's some interesting ones here that you can use, but we're just going to create a blank one in this case. So to make it a little bit easier, I'm going to start with this blank slide in. So you have different options. So you have the pop-up. It's one that I personally don't like as much because it really interrupts the experience on the website. Not a big fan. The slide in it, which is the one that I showed you in the beginning of this video, it's usually the one I use. And then you can also do a banner at the top of your website. And that one is fine as well, but it has its use cases. So let's go with the blank slide in here. So we can see that we have an image, we have a header here. I want to create a pretty simple one here. So that's the full section. That's the second column. We're just going to delete that. So we're left with just the image here. And then for the image, we want to use our own image here. So always make sure that the image is not too large. And I mean like the file size is not too large. So here you can see my designer provided a file that is 4.4 megabytes, which is a bit too large for a CTA specifically. Since it will slow down the loading of your website. So I made it a bit smaller. You basically won't really see a difference between these two images, but the file size is definitely smaller. And that's the one we're going to use here. So then I can just click this one. That image will be in here. Then we can check if this is the size we want. Right now, this seems a little bit on the bigger end. All right, that looks better. For a couple of these settings here, this will also be interesting to see. So we can automatically adjust so that it will scale on browser and device size, so it's responsive. Then the maximum size, we can choose either the original size or we can make it a little bit smaller. Then we want lazy loading, so that means that it doesn't hold up the loading of the web page. And then we need to add the URL here. Now, this would typically be the landing page where you have this offer that you are presenting in the CTA. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to use my regular address because I don't know the other one by heart. So now we just quickly need to fix this white space here. So when I go back here to the slide in, this is the entire slide in here, and you can see that the width is set to 608. But we just set it to 400. Then you can also choose the position here. So by default, it will show up in the bottom right corner, but you can put this in any corner of the screen right here. And then obviously also give it a name. So let's call this one HubSpot Workflow so that we know which CTA we're working on when we see it in the list as well. And the next thing we want to do is set up the targeting for the CTA. So here we can see that we can trigger it on page scroll. We can trigger it on exit intent. So when people have the intent to exit your website. We can also trigger it after an elapsed time. So for example, 7 seconds here in this case, or you can make this 3 seconds. Or you can also trigger this after inactivity. So when a visitor has been inactive on the page for a certain duration, you can trigger it then. This is one that you quite often see for the pop-ups, where when somebody leaves your web page but leaves the tab open and they come back, that all of a sudden there's like a promotional offer there, for example. Then when we scroll down here, we can also choose where we want to show this, or we can also add some exclusions. So for example, we want to show it on all pages on our website, but then we can also say that whenever a page contains contact, which is one that I, for example, usually add, because people already have the intention of contacting you, we don't really want to distract them from that. Then who it will be shown to, so you can choose to show this to everyone on your website, or you can even filter this using certain segmented lists or where they are located in the world. If they clicked a certain CTA previously, we have a lot of options here to really target the CTA to a specific group of people. And then we also have this frequency. So this means that when somebody closes the CTA, so they don't click on it, but they close it instead, how long it will take before that CTA will appear again on the page. So in this case, after the initial display and somebody would close it, it would only be shown again after 2 weeks. But you can change this, for example, also to after 1 day, or you can even put it in minutes and be like, I want to show it again after 60 minutes. In general, it's advised to not have this set too low because we don't really want to disturb our visitors on the website any more than necessary. If you like this video, you will probably also like my video about how to set up the HubSpot chat for your website. I will link it up here, and it works through the same tracking code that we installed in this video. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more HubSpot excellence.